So we're on to the next thing here, and that's tie rods. So if you notice, I have disc brakes on the front of this truck. Now, there's plenty of different ways you can do this, but I'm trying something different that nobody else has really tried. I'm trying to put 86 to 93 Mazda drop spindles on the front of this. Now, these are 2.5-inch drop spindles, but the problem is I had to put the driver's side on the passenger side and the passenger side on the driver's side because the steering goes behind the axle. But if you take a look, I pretty much have these tie rods just about maxed out. So what I've done is I've looked up, this one here actually jumped and came back in as I was moving along the driveway. What I have done is I looked up the thread count and the pitch diameter and the threads of the outside ones, and I got these ones here for the inside. Now these ones right here, this actually has to go out more, but these are out of a 92 to 93 Grand Marquis. Now I might have to cut these down just a bit, but we'll see. I'm going to put one of these in there and then try to do a self-alignment here and see how these work out. But these here are just from Napa, their house brand. 93 to 97 Grand Marquis, I believe, and Lincoln Town Car and Crown Vic. So let's see if these are the right parts to put on there. So I got the new one installed, the Grand Marquis one here. It's pretty much maxed out on the threads. It started jamming up there, but here's the old one, and the tires are straight. Pretty much straight. They're towed in a bit. Well, here's the driver's side. So what we're going to do before we put the passenger side one in is we're actually going to cut a little bit of it off. We're going to cut about 1/2 inch off either side. Now, because there's so much threads down inside there, I'm not too concerned about cutting off 1/2 inch. But that's the difference between the stock Mazda and or Ford Courier and the Grand Marquis ones. So like if I cut 1/2 inch off that, that's not too bad. So let's get these cut and try putting these in the passenger side. Or just try putting this one in the driver's side once it's cut. Yeah, I'll do that. And that way we can keep the passenger side. Okay, so there's the Grand Marquis tie rod I've got in here, and I've had to cut down to get it in. Now I did have to cut it down probably about 1/2 inch, but if you notice there's threads sticking out now, and I'm pretty sure that that tie rod is bottomed out. So if this needs to go in any farther, I just got to trim back one tie rod, and that will give me 1/4 inch, and that's all you really need. But it's pretty much dead on right now. So this is how long a stock Grand Marquis tie rod is. So you can see I've cut just about 1/2 inch out of either side of this. So a little bit of trimming. But compared to the stock Mazda tie rod, which actually fits right in between there with quite a bit of room to spare. So the Mazda one just couldn't grip onto the tie rods good enough. So now let's go to the other side now. Okay, so I got the Grand Marquis tie rods in there, both sides now. On the passenger side here, because these ones have not been threaded in for so long, the threads are super gummed up. So I actually kind of got it jammed on there. I'm really close, I think. I'm not perfect, but it's on there. For any of you guys that want part numbers, Napa, Road Right, there's a part number for you. Of course, this is made in China. I would not buy these, to be honest. I basically cut 1 inch out of them. So if I was to do this again, I'd look for different tie rods that, sorry, a tie rod adjuster that is about 1 inch shorter than the Grand Marquis ones. But yeah, there's the part number. It did work. They're on there. Everything's clamped on. Everything's tight. Thread was right. Pitch was right. Everything else was right. But like I said, I would maybe get one that's a little bit shorter. That way you don't have to cut them. But other than that, they're in there. And they're on there. And they're done. All that's left is cotter pins. And that fun stuff. Boom. On to the next item on the list, which is basically hooking up the slave cylinder. So let's get done on that.